Hey, Algebra kids, this is Dr. Callahan for week 8 Wednesday. How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a wonderful week. Let's go ahead and pause the video and answer the following 3 warm-up questions for today. Keep in mind that today is week 8 Wednesday. Your warm-up block is going to be due on week 9 Friday. So you have a few short weeks left. So make sure you guys are working on that. If you have any of the boxes that are currently still empty, make sure you go to the week that it is empty and then look at the MS Team video on YouTube and then answer the following questions. Make sure everything is filled out from week 1 Monday up to week 9 Friday. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's go ahead and create the assignment for today. So today is week 8 Wednesday. Your instruction is to watch the video in its entirety and make sure you upload your assignment in order to get the academic grade with us. Our topic of discussion today is going to focus around solving square roots in vertex form. So Algebra 1, Semester 2, there we go. Make sure you check in with me by the big end of first period, which is at 8:40. Even though today is Wednesday, it's not early release, it's just a regular day. So just keep that in mind. And as always, this is due by 3 p.m. And I'm just gonna go ahead and sign. Okay, so with that said, let's go ahead and continue for today. So take a look at question number 2. How can you get rid of the square? Give me the 5 different steps for this. So here are my five different steps. I would say that for my steps, I'm going to put insert. I would say step 1, go ahead and divide by 3 on both sides. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, that's not the first step. Just kidding, you have a tag along. Subtract 4 on both sides. That's the first one. Next, you're going to go ahead and divide by 3 on both sides. Afterwards, you're going to go ahead and square root both sides, get rid of the square. And then afterwards, subtract or add 2. And lastly, your x is going to be 2 answers. And this is what you would have to do. All right, so with that said, let's go ahead and continue on to the next part of our notes today. So first thing I want you guys to do is take a look over here at week 8 Wednesday. This is under actually week 8 Tuesday, but it's week 8 Wednesday. You have all of these little boxes here. I'm gonna have you copy down the work and then show the work for each of the questions. So we're going to start off with the first one, which is going to look like this. And you're going to copy this one down right there. All right, so here you have x minus 1 squared equals 49. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to get rid of the square root. When you do that, x minus 1 equals plus or minus 7. So you have two different answers. Next, you're going to add 1 on both sides. So you have x is equal to positive 7 plus 1 and negative 7 plus 1. So your first answer is going to be an 8, and your second answer is a negative 6. And that is your answer for this. Now with that said, let's go ahead and type in the steps. So we have this available for you guys to see visually. Okay, so step number 1, we're going to go ahead and square root both sides. Afterwards, we're going to add 1 on both sides. Keep in mind you have two answers, and they're going to be x equals the first one and x equals the second one. Okay, let's go on to the next one. So now I'm going to be on number 2. So make sure you guys are on number 2 as well. All right, so here's your question here for number 2, okay? And again, we have several different steps. First step, square root both sides. If I do that, I'm going to have a square root here, square root here. Next step, you're going to go ahead and add 1 on both sides. You have x is equal to, or excuse me, hold on a second. X minus 1 is equal to plus or minus 6. Then we're going to go ahead and, so after that, we're going to go ahead and add 1 on both sides. So looking at this right here, I have x is equal to positive or minus 6 plus 1. So then that way I have x is equal to positive 6 plus 1. And I have negative 6 plus 1. So then after of which we will have two answers, which is 7 and negative 6. All right, let's go on to the third one. So we're now here. So for the third one, notice what's a little bit different about it. You do have a 4 right here. So first thing that I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go ahead and divide 4 on both sides, square root both sides, add 1, and of course you'll have two different answers. Okay, so let's go ahead and give that a try. Okay, so starting off here, let's go ahead and do that. Step 1, divide 4 on both sides. I'm going to divide it by 4, divided by 4. X minus 1 squared equals 6. Step 2, square root both sides. So let's do that. We're going to go ahead and square root this side, square root this side. X minus 1 equals plus or minus. What is a square root of 6? Well, you know that a square root of 9 is 3. A square root of 4 is 2. A 6 is going to be right between there. So maybe like a 2.5. Okay, after that, add 1 on both sides. So we're going to go ahead and add that. So we have x is equal to positive 2.5 plus 1 and negative 2.5 plus 1. So you will have two different answers. X is equal to 3.5 and x is negative 1.5. So two different answers once again. All right, let's go on to the next one. You should be on number 4. Copy this one down. With number number 4, you will have to go ahead and get rid of the 2 first. So divide it by 2 on both sides. Then you're going to take a square root, and then afterwards you are going to subtract 4 on both sides and end up with 2 different answers. So let's take a look at this. Step number 1, you're going to go ahead and divide it by 2 on both sides. So let's do that. Divided by 2, divided by 2. And you have x plus 4 squared equals 16. Next step, square root both sides. So I have x plus 4 equals plus and minus 4. Next step, subtract 4 on both sides. So x equals positive 4 minus 4, and x equals negative 4 minus 4. So then what are your 2 different answers here in this case? Well, 0 is your first one, and then negative 8 is your second one. So take a look at this. All right, now we're going to move on to number 5. For number 5, this is your question right here. Again, you're going to go ahead and divide by 2 on both sides, take the square root, and then subtract 4. Let's give that a try. First thing to do, divide by 2. When that's done, this part cancels. X plus 4 squared equals, and that's going to give you a 36. Then you're going to go ahead and square root both sides. So square root, x plus 4 equals plus or minus 6. After that, you're going to go ahead and subtract 4 on both sides. So you have 2 answers. One is a positive 6 minus 4 and a negative 6 minus 4. So then what are your 2 answers? 2 is your first one. Negative 10 is your second one. All right, example number 6. With example number 6, this is your question, so go ahead and copy it down. And you are going to divide 3 on both sides, square root both sides, or actually before you square root that and before you divide it, you will have to subtract 4 on both sides. Then divide by 3, then square root, and then you're going to add a 2. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look how this works. Number 1, subtract 4 on both sides. So subtract 4, subtract 4. You are going to get, something just happened. What happened here? Oh. Let's see what happened here. Hold on a second. Something just disappeared. Let me go back to this. That's okay. We'll just continue with this anyways. So step 1, subtract the 4 on both sides. You get 3x minus 2 squared equals 21. Then divide it by 3 on both sides. 3 cancels. X minus 2 squared equals 7. Next step, square root both sides. X minus 2 equals, you know the square root of 9 is 3. The square root of 4 is 2. 7 is probably like a plus or minus 2.5. So then you're going to add 2 on both sides. So then you have x is equal to negative 2.5 plus 2. X equals a positive 2.5 plus 2. So your first answer is going to give you a negative 0.5. Second answer is going to give you a 4.5. And that's it. All right, you guys, we're going to move on to the next part here. So for the rest of the class, I want you guys to go ahead and practice on this page right here. Practice in graphing these equations. And let's go ahead and go over the first one together. All right, let's take a look at this here. Okay, so go ahead and turn over to this page, which is right here. We're going to start off with number 19. Okay, so with number 19, in order to graph this, remember your vertex has a formula x equals negative b over 2a. So let's figure out what that's going to equal to. Now, remember your b here is a negative 14. Your a is a negative 2. So a is right here, b is right there. So x equals negative 14 divided by 2 times negative 2, which is a positive 14 over negative 4. And that's going to give you a 14 divided by negative 4, which is going to be, grab your calculators. 3.5. So x equals a negative 3.5, okay? But you know what the x is, but what is my y going to be? So with your y, you're going to go ahead and plug that into the equation. Y equals negative 2 times 3.5 squared minus 14 times 3.5 minus 21. So 3.5 times 3.5 is going to give you a 12.25 times the negative 2 is going to give you a negative 24.5. 14 times 3.5 is a minus 49 minus 21. So then altogether, what we're going to end up having is going to be a 49 minus 24.5 which is going to give you a y equals 45.5. So as I am graphing this, actually this is not correct, something's wrong here. Let's see, 3.5 times 3.5 is 12.25 times 2 is going to give me a negative 24.5. Oh, this is going to be a positive because it's a negative 3.5. Sorry about that. So this is going to be positive 49. So 49 minus 21 minus 24.5 is going to give you a positive 3.5. So there you have it. Your vertex is going to be negative 3.5 and positive 3.5. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 3.5. That's going to be your vertex. And as you can see, it's a negative, so it's going to be a sad face. So you just go down like this. All right, you guys, now for the rest of the class, I want you guys going to finish the rest of these and practice with it. When you're done, I want you to go ahead and work on what you can say to yourself right here. Okay, so instead of saying, I'm not good at this, try thinking, what am I missing? Am I on the right track? Etc. Go ahead and give that a try. And then your exit ticket today is in reflection is going to be right here. All right, you guys, as always, I hope you're having a wonderful week. Take care and be kind to one another. I'll see you guys next time.